Right, so we are back with the Do It Rate podcast. For new listeners coming in and anyone who's not watched any of my podcast before, the concept of do it right, do it rate is basically a Yorkshire slang term for do it right. If you're going to do it, if you can do it once, you don't have to pay twice. That's the type of concept associated with it. And in this next series, we're going to be coming into a client hot seat. I did actually start these back end of last year, but life got in the way. A lot of stuff going on with the business. Had a baby, not had my haircut for 6 weeks. So the people who do watch this on YouTube, mind your own business. I'm getting my haircut this Thursday, and I will be looking nice and clean cut on content again from this week onwards. But this is now going to be coming into episode 8 because I am actually going to count these down because last time I didn't. And I had a lot of people ask me about the in-person podcasts that I've done before. They're all on YouTube, but I never actually got around to loading them up to Spotify. So these will all be on YouTube and Spotify. So episode 8, we have got Sarah Catterson. So again, client hot seat. She is not prepared for questions today. She doesn't actually like being put on the spot, even when we do have meetings together and I put her on the spot. She flaps around a little bit and almost takes a couple of minutes to think about what she's saying. But that's the concept of the next series. It is going to be 5 or 6 direct questions, 30 minutes, and going straight into it. So as a starting point, Sarah, do you want to pretty much just introduce who you are as a person and what you do professionally?
Hello, thank you very much for having me on, Ben. Yes, I haven't a clue or notion what is about to be asked, but that's just like every single call I have with Ben. So in a way, I'm a little bit prepared, but my name is Sarah Catterson. I'm an online coach. I have been for the past 4 years. And I worked in gyms previous before that and then moved on in lockdown. So now I run essentially 3 businesses, one-to-one coaching. I have my own fitness app and my 8-week challenges. And I suppose you could now say that I'm a content creator. I'm not a massive fan of that name.
You're an influencer. Sarah's an influencer. She's an influencer.
No, and there's no shade against being an influencer, but it's just not my...
Oh God, yeah. All influencers listening in, she's bitching about you.
You've just lost listeners. So I may influence people to better their health and fitness. And I do post online, but I am an online coach.
Yeah, so basically, Sarah's got an enterprise. Sarah signed up with me on the gold management package because it would have killed me trying to do it on anything less. So that basically means that I'll have a meeting with her every single week and tackle it on a one-to-one with the agency. And it's all the fun stuff. Like, this is her type of business model. I would go as far as saying, even though it's very, very challenging, it's the stuff that I enjoy the most. So what you've basically got is you've got a pyramid scheme, or like the business model of like a triangle. Low ticket app, high volume in. You've then got challenges, then you've got like a premium one-to-one service. And we've done a lot. Obviously, the app is done with Elevate and other people, so that's all been preset, but we've obviously done a lot of plug and plays into the app marketing so far, looking at increasing the price on the challenges and sold that out, marketing associated with that, rebuilding the actual client management platform associated with both one-to-one and challenges. And then you've got God knows how much of stuff what's probably going to come up. It's been a really, really heavy one so far, but I always say to people, sometimes it takes a bit of time to get right. And I don't care what anyone says. There's a lot of business mentors out there who go, right, I've got all the answers straight away. I genuinely have I would not be able to say I am 100% know what to do with an account unless I've done at least 4 weeks with them. Like, after a discovery phase, finding out about them as a person, like even to the point where I was emailing Sarah's partner the other day. Do you know what I mean? All these little intricate details, what you don't know about until you obviously get into the mix. But one thing I'll say is we've got it bang on so far with this one. There's shitloads of work going off at the moment, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely moving in the right direction, which is what we want. And sales are flying up, revenue's going up, and hardly any tools have been used, and a lot of organizational structure. So we're on to some huge wins. Right. So as we've kind of highlighted, this is an enterprise. This is not a 2-minute job. This is fucking quite a difficult thing to build, and it's even harder to actually manage and scale from that point. So first question for me is like, right, when you look at the company triangle that you've got, what has been the biggest struggle that you faced building this enterprise? From, if you go back to right at the start when you were PT and you were doing all that type of stuff to where you are right now, what is the single isolated hardest thing been?
Making the right decision. And what I mean by that is I get an idea in my head and I want it, but I don't know how to put it into plan. And I know I'll make it work, but I'll put it off for so long because I don't know the systems to get it right. So for me, I wanted to build that app for probably 2 years. And I had calls with different people and I just put it on the long finger because when something stresses me out, I start focusing on everything else that's going right. And I leave what's not working or what isn't 100% slightly on the back burner because I don't know who to ask or what to do. And this is not me shooting fire up your arse, but that is why I did come to you guys because
How is shooting fire up someone's arse a positive thing? That's not a negative.
it's like
I would not want
you.
anyone to shoot fire up my arse. That sounds horrific.
You've not heard that saying before.
I've never heard that.
Like, bigging you up.
Oh, fucking hell.
Because yeah, well, that's why I went to you guys, so that when I do have that, you're like, well, that's what you need to do, or this is what you need to do. So it would probably be that the actual decision making, because at the end of the day, you run the business, own the business. So the last decision comes down to you. So I suppose it's just being that learning curve of not knowing what to actually do in the moment in time.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a very good answer, because I would probably say that that's the one thing that I would still struggle with the most at the moment. So I've come to obviously people who follow me on social media, I've had to come off discovery calls even for people who are doing 10K a month on agency qualification because I just don't have time to manage what I do on a one-to-one level. And it's really hard actually just making that final decision and having someone there to just literally, because I always say to people like, look, I've not got the answers. I've got the open communication where we'll find the answer. Right? If someone comes to me, I'll suggest it. Like we've done it so many times. I go, right, what about that? No. Sweet. Right, what about this? Oh yeah. That's what it is. It's having someone to bounce off and know where you're going. And I got to that point last year with my own marketing, and I got a little bit of help externally. And it wasn't the fact that I was given a substantial amount of like new creative, like crazy shit into my business. It was like I had the bandwidth to go, oh wait, I've got someone to speak to about now with these ideas. I ain't got to second guess myself. And I think second guessing yourself is something that is quite common when you're running a type of big enterprise. So I've been doing it this morning. Like I've sat down and looked at imagine this, 2 years with a coach consultant, but over and going up to a multi-7-figure company now. I have never, ever put an operational timeline or marketing timeline together for my own business. Right. Which is
Put one up for me within the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I know, but I've never done it for my own business. And that hit me this week because I was like, wait, this is one, it's something that I need to be doing because I can improve everything for every single client. I can improve everything for all my staff and obviously grow my own business. But that's the one thing I'm going to highlight now. That's the best thing that Sarah could do. She's got so much shit going on, right? Often you go, oh my God, there's so much to do. I just don't know how to do it. And all you do is you build out a week to week, month to month structure, different columns associated, right? That's what we're doing now. Tick those boxes off. Sweet. Now go on to the next thing. Now let's go on to the next thing. And I think that's the best place to start with second guess, because I'm doing it at the moment. I actually went to build a marketing campaign for the coach consultant just now, and then looked at everything I do, and I thought, actually, I want to do something better. So we're going to be basically releasing there's going to be a couple of new things. I'm not going to talk about podcasts, but there's going to be 2 really big things coming with the coach consultant and a big adjustment to our kind of lower ticket programs. But I looked at that and I went, right, I need to focus on my actual product operation and program before I come onto my marketing. And I have actually done a reel on Sarah, but I've not posted it yet. I did it about 4 weeks ago where I said, sometimes it's not about coming in and smashing marketing and sales. Like Sarah's dramatically increased the revenue, but I would not really say I've tried to do that. All I've done is organized it and created a better value proposition for what she's actually putting out. And then that's all come from just like these little plug and play kind of templates and structures. And once you've got your company and your organization like under fucking control, it's about getting her under control. So the amount of times that I've come into a meeting with Sarah and go, what are you stressing about? stressing for the sake of stressing, because that's what happens when you've got so much going on. People think that, oh, I've got bare money coming in now, I've got loads of stuff, that it's all sunshine, rainbows and cocktails on the beach. Whereas in reality, you have to work to get to that type of point. And when I was basically, when I emailed Sarah's partner, I think last week, I was like, she's got some work to do right now, but this is what's going to happen as a byproduct of it. She's just got to get to that point. And I was like, Sarah, what are you stressing about right now? Look at that. Look at everything what's happening. And she was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. Yeah, you can, because you've got that time. And all we did is we literally got a timetable up, planned out a week, and I went, look how much free time where you're stressing about shit you don't need to stress about. And then we just assigned a block to each thing. Like, I'm a massive believer that every single problem in business can be sorted with better management and better communication. Like, that's literally what I'm doing my talk on at the coach convention this year, which is how to build an Arrowhead marketing and operations timeline. Because I think that once you take a step back and you have the right people behind you, like anything is possible. There are no secrets to business. It's just communication and collaboration.
That one, I can't describe how something as small as building out a timeline has helped mentally. Like yesterday when I was doing it, it was like the first day of putting everything into place. And I can get myself extremely worked up when I have 10 things to do, that I try to do everything within that hour. Whereas when it's all blocked out, it's like, well, I can't do that until tomorrow. I don't need to do it until tomorrow. And you actually get so much more done. But I think that's when you're trying to build a business, you're not just focusing on the one thing. So everyone's like, oh, great, she has 3 different revenues coming in, 3 different businesses. Like, she must just sit back now because she has coaches. No, the more you add to your business, the less time you have for fucking around.
Yeah, and that's why. So we've basically looked at one, new hires coming in, and then internal promotions. So it's Emma, isn't it? Yeah, Emma.
Yeah.
So there's that many coaching teams at the moment, but you got Emma. So Emma's basically stepping up into like team management, admin, taking that off. Because all I did is we basically got at the start, I went right, because she was blowing, Ed were bouncing off from walls, and I was like, write me a list of everything that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and it like all this different spiel. And I was like, right, let's isolate that. Someone else can do that. Someone else can do that. Someone else can do that. And it's just these people inside your business, the people who want to do that as well. I think often people go, I don't want to ask them to do more. Ask them to do more and pay them for it. Then you've got more time to focus on what you actually need to be focusing on. And that's how you basically build on from that point. So, yeah, I completely agree. It's second guessing yourself and having structure in place. So that's my biggest weakness for my own individual business. Like, we're lucky because we've got
this, but I think other people listening might understand this. From building a business, I used to try do everything myself because I would be too embarrassed to ask someone else. Even if I was paying them, I wouldn't want them to think I'm taking an hour off and asking them to do something, even though I'm still doing something else and helping build the business. To me, I was like, I want people to think I'm working all day long, because I am, because then they'll think that I'm building this massive business. But I was running myself into the ground, that everything I was doing was then becoming 50% effort because I wasn't able to put 100% into a few things. So for me, it was like getting over that embarrassment of actually asking for help so that I could do more.
Yeah, to put this into perspective, we obviously, once we created the structure for everything, it was like app, everything to do with app, that's sorted. All challenges are now plug and play sorted, and then we're just looking at developments. We've got one-to-one coaching, and then from that point, I was like, right, sweet. Now we're going to build an ebook, and now we're going to look at organizing an event. And before, if I'd have suggested that to a start, she'd have been like, what the fuck? No chance. Whereas now it's easy. So like, we had a bit of a delay on something. I went, oh, that's fine. Just moved it onto a different section. Do you know what I mean? And all you do is you keep yourself accountable to structure on a week-to-week and month-to-month basis, and it's easy. But I'm going to my next question now, because this is something that I was actually reflecting on myself this morning when I was looking at my own stuff. I was like, the first thing I thought was, I was like, fuck's sake, I wish I'd done it like that from the start. And that you have these moments all the time in business where you get to a point, you put so much work into something, and you launch it, you run it for a while, and then you get a massive realization of thinking, fuck, I can do this better, or I can do this differently somewhere else. And it's almost quite disheartening, because you're thinking, oh my God, I've almost got to go into it again and do it again. But that's the point. Right? That is business. It's the same as when you're building your physique or you're running for a marathon or something to that side. It's progressive overload. Right? Have you got comfortable where you are right now? Sweet, let's apply more pressure, let's adapt and let's overcome. And imagine that's your business model. That's what you need to do. If shit's really, really easy or shit's not really, really improving, don't keep doing the same thing over and over again and then expecting a different result. So it's like Sean Casey is one example, like looking at Social Circle. It took me 5 minutes to turn around and go, right, we need to do this differently. Spent 4 months building it, and in 3 minutes, it built a multi-7-figure business off sales, right? But for those 4 months, there was no gratification, there was no reward. Whereas adjusting it, doing it right, relaunching it now, it's got unlimited scalability, unlimited capacity, and it's exact same for looking at the Glean app rather than obviously the academy before. And it's about us looking at it from a different perspective. So my question to you is right now, when you look at what you have right now, what are the 3 things that you do differently if you're going to start it again?
Do differently.
And like from an advice perspective, based on building and launching an app, running challenges, and obviously one-to-one coaching, what would you do differently, and what advice would you give people want to do the same?
The first one that's coming to mind is not really essentially to do with the app challenges or one-to-one, but it's you're going to have to market yourself online for all of these things. And for me, for so long, I cared about likes, who was looking at it, the comments. If people didn't like me, I would look at how I said things and pick myself apart in videos. Now I couldn't give a shite. I just say what I want. If someone doesn't like it, then they're not the client for me, because I know I'm going to help someone. That's probably my biggest thing. Since I started doing that, also, I've stopped looking at other fitness, and I kind of stopped following other fitness people, because I don't even want to get someone's video in my head. I want to do my own thing. And as soon as I started doing that, my following blew up. And it's not just about followers, but followers are going to be clients when you nurture them in. And yeah, that for me, just to be yourself, it sounds very fucking cliche, but you know what I mean.
No, it's not. It's not. The best way I describe this to people is last year the Coach Consultant massively blew up, and it was great, but it caused quite a lot of problems. I took a step back, completely readjusted our qualification process for each program, and that was the be all and end all to having success with the clients that we've got obviously today. It wasn't about the fact that people didn't want to buy what we were doing. It was who was actually letting onto it and who was making sure it was aligned to each individual person rather than just shipping people on stuff for the sake of it. And when that all starts with content, like it doesn't matter if you've got a direct sales process or a passive sales process. Your content creation is the starting qualification for someone to wanting to buy your shit. So if you've obviously, like with Sarah right now, and again, Sean Casey has been a pioneer of people being authentic on social media. But if you are genuinely yourself, right, and people can genuinely connect with you, if you've got an app at $24.99, someone's more likely to purchase that app because they feel like they actually know you, feel like they actually trust you. Now, if you look at your content creation, your authenticity and who you are, right? If you've then got that connection, and then you're going to convert better on a call, because when they come onto a call with you, they're going to feel like they already know you. They're not going to come on. That's one thing that obviously it can't be the case now because I can't take calls now because I ain't got time. But when people used to come onto a sales call, and they do it with Ben Mahmood now because he's my best mate. I've known him all my life from back on a council estate. The first thing they say is they're like, I really feel the culture. I feel the connection between with you guys and what you do. And that all starts with just talking like you are on social media, because that's the shit I did wrong. I've been doing this, 10 years now. For the first 5 years, I didn't even try with social media. The second, after that 5 years, I had education company, meal prep company, events. I've had so much different shit. My content is now, or my page is now growing at a decent rate because I'm focusing on one thing and one thing alone, which is basically business and me and my personal brand. And I think it does not, like, there's so many people who come to me and they'll go, right, I want to have this type of campaign, applied lead gen, all that shit. I said, look at your organic content strategy. And even from a paid media perspective, if you've got incredible, transparent, honest ads and great funnels and stuff, they're still going to look at your name and click onto your IG and look at your other content. So your transparency on your organic content is absolutely paramount. And I'd agree, that's my biggest fuck up. But I'm trying to get it right, guys. And actually, as part of the plan, I am going to be talking about this anyway, but I'm going to be doing like a 6-month straight series on just business advice, which I'm really excited to do because a lot of my content is very ad hoc at the moment, which is great for people. Yeah, so it's basically going to be a step by step. So like every week's going to have a different concept. That's what I want, because I've got to this point where I was like, right, do I want to be serious? Do I want to be funny? Do I want to be completely transparent, which is myself, which is a bit too rough for social media? But I was like, right, what do I enjoy the most? I enjoy basically showing people that if I can do this, you can do it. That's what I believe in. Like, I've come from bottom of fucking food chain in every avenue. So if I can get to this point now, I know that anyone can. And I basically want to do it as like a educational demonstration process of, right, week 1, this is lead generation. This is everything he knows about lead generation. Week 2, this is sales. This is everything he needs to know. So people actually know what's coming onto my page. So get ready for that, for people who do or actually follow me and do watch my stuff. Right, based on my next question, based on the fact that you're onto a great,
You messed up your last question. You asked me for 3 points. I only gave 1, but you decided to talk about yourself. It's okay. We'll go on.
Oh, fuck's sake. I thought you spoke about 2.
No.
All right, then go on. Let's go again. 2 more. You put yourself on spot now.
Don't trust everyone that has a big following. So
that's a spicy one.
Yeah. And I think the most important one, because I started with a business mentor maybe like a year ago, and it potentially works for others. I'm not going to name names or like shit on anyone, but just didn't work for me. But there was no communication, there was no back and forth, like what's going to work for you. There was no adapting to my business. It was just, this is what you need to do, and if you don't do it, it's not going to work. So just because that business mentor had a very large following, I actually stopped after 3 months and asked for a refund, which I don't think they've ever had. I'm very shocked.
I actually have no idea who that is. I have no idea. I've never asked that question. Have I actually?
No, I don't think so.
People don't believe that. Do you know, if someone mentions someone else on a discovery call, I don't have that conversation. Whereas I know full well that I get slagged off at like most weeks, like for no reason. I just don't understand why. But
you only get slagged off for people who are not doing as well.
But then, do you know what? I put a story. I actually got like 3,000 views on that story, which is mad for me, by the way. But basically, I put that story up there again. Just because someone's got a lot of followers and they've got a great qualification sales process and selling you the dream does not mean that they're actually going to deliver on it afterwards. And the biggest red flag for me is if someone's coming in and wanting thousands and thousands of pounds up front and then putting you on a low retainer afterwards. That just shows that they're trying to get money through door and not bothered about what comes after that. So it's just something to look out for, guys. Right, spicy on that one. Let's go third bit of advice.
When I started off in lockdown, luckily I started off quite early in coaching, so everything was going really well. But then of course with time, everyone else is going to start doing that. So then there's people doing challenges, there's people trying to start apps. So get an email list built early, because I didn't. And I think email marketing is something that I just didn't have a clue about. Of course, your content has to be authentic, but when you've ticked that off and you're doing well on that end, emails, because we don't know how long Instagram's going to be around for. Yeah,
it's a good point. That I when I build out a campaign, someone will assess do a needs assessment. I go, right, have they got emails? If they've not got emails, then we need to put a lot of time into volume lead magnets to look at getting emails. If someone's got a real high level, like Sarah's got a massive level database, then I just need to look at evergreen landing pages and preset stuff, because we can just retarget that into the masses. Whereas if you don't have the masses, then you need to get the masses. So looking at higher frequency lead magnets is a better approach for that. But no, I agree. Same with me. Like if my Instagram went, I'd be a bit screwed. I have an email database, don't get me wrong, and obviously the events and stuff. So, but I'm late. That's another thing. If you post on the same stuff onto TikTok, don't you?
No, I need to start. Yeah. I do, but I need to.
It's so easy to do, but I'm just so lazy with it. I just can't be bothered. I find posting on Instagram's hard enough.
Yeah.
Right, sound. So based on that there, if we look at everything that because if I'd have asked you this question 8 weeks ago, or whatever it was, you wouldn't have answered this properly. Right. If you look at Sarah Catterson in the next 5 years, right? What does your life look like? Who are you going to be? And what do you want to be doing? And this is not from what you want people to fucking hear. This is about what you want, because at the end of the day, I can guarantee you, your audience, your community want what you want for yourself.
Well, I want what I'm building now in a much grander scale. But I still want my three pyramids, my three tiers in the pyramid scheme. I don't want my business to be any different. I just want it to be absolutely perfected and smooth, because the work that I'm doing now would be fucking pointless if I wanted this grand, rich life in 5 years that I didn't even want what I'm building now. So, and that's genuinely, I want to be working, but I want to be working with a lot less stress, and have a lot more time for my family, friends, relationships that I've definitely not put time into over the last 2 years. But I don't want much more of a different life.
The balance to it, that's all you need to get.
Just the balance, yeah. That's like, I'm sure people would have expected me to say, well, I want to be really rich with a massive house and cars, but like, what the fuck is the point of showing off what you've made from businesses if your business isn't even still running perfectly and you're not happy? So yeah, I don't really want much more of a different life or a different person, but a more balanced person and running systems better.
Which is all stuff we're doing at the moment. Well, we have got to the point of already done, and it's built on it from that point. And I do believe that. I think that even in probably 8-12 weeks from now, you're going to be sat there going, fucking hell, like, this is actually a really, really fulfilling job, really, really fulfilling role. And that's where the real fun starts to happen. So this is why I obviously stepped off discovery calls for the agency, because I was like, I want to focus on where all my clients are going and where I'm going, rather than just kind of taking inbound calls all the time. And when you've got time to think,
actually want it less laptop focused. I want to do events. I want to bring all these clients together. I want to be more of the face and actually have time to be more creative, so that I have more coaches doing check-ins. So that's kind of that side, but still working. But yeah, like as you said, bringing clients and everything, focusing on them.
well, you're already living a full-time holiday, so you don't need more holidays because you're in Marbella, aren't you?
I hate when people say that. No, I don't live on a full-time holiday. Yes, there's sun outside, but there's windows and I'm in four walls working behind a laptop.
Every morning walking out onto a balcony at beach, some life that. Living the dream. Right, Sam. So that's basically about what's been done. But now the final two questions to finish us up, because this is specific to what I want to ask Sarah based on a lot of conversations we've had recently. These questions are about right now, in this exact fucking moment. This is not about the future. This is not about work. This is not about business, right? I want you to basically look at and think, right, how are you directly winning in life right now at this exact moment? What do you class as winning? When you're sat there, like, what's the one thing where you go, right, yeah, that's where I'm fucking winning at this?
And it doesn't have to just be business.
Can be anything you want.
That no one around me is unhealthy or sick, and family, friends are all healthy. And that I get to do what I'm doing daily. I don't really think of business straight away when you say that.
I don't think I would either. I think I'd be
me winning at life is that I'm in an 11-year relationship. I'm really happy in that. My family are healthy and I have the ability to do what I'm doing abroad.
Yeah, it's nice to live full time all this. So I'd enjoy that. Just don't think dogs would like it out there. It'd be a bit too warm when it's down here.
I've actually seen a few huskies over in Spain in the midst of June and July, pumping sweat.
There's there's loads in Dubai and like little dog places as well. When we were thinking about moving to Dubai, but we decided against it. No, I like that. I think it tells a lot about a person where in that moment when you've got a very, very successful business, but then the actual winning has nothing to do with it. But there's nothing, do you know, if someone turned around to me and went, I've just bought a Ferrari. Yeah, you're fucking winning. You enjoy that. I think whatever someone's variation of winning is completely down to them. But I think if I was going to look right, how am I winning? I think in the last month since obviously having Remy is basically where I look at myself and go, I've got everything now. That's where I feel like I'm winning. Like I'm very obsessed with like how can I completely fucking challenge myself? Like I am not bothered about how much money I'm earning. I still drive a transit van. It's a cool van, but I am going to get a new car at some point. But I'm winning. I've ticked off loads of boxes like the investments, the baby, the dad routine with business, the company infrastructure. So mine's not about a single thing. It's about just the fact that I'm doing it all. That's something what really motivates me and something that I want to. That's why all my moves now, like how can I refine this process where I'm training, I'm eating, because I've had periods where I've not trained for 6 to 8 months because I've just gone all in on business, or I've had periods in my early 20s where I just went out and got absolutely blasted all the time. Do you know what I mean? And I think that right now, I think it's that's where I'm winning because I'm ticking all the boxes and still surviving.
Sorry,
Final one.
add to that. Yeah, that's probably another one is in the last year, I've become very headstrong. So like if I don't want to go out drinking and I want to work on my business, I'm like, nah, sorry, I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
I think that's also important as well, because when you are building a business, there might be times where you can't work on relationships. And I think that's just going to come part of parcel, but you also sometimes might come to a stage of, fuck, I'm so stressed, I need to go out this weekend. And it's getting a hold of that as well.
Yeah. Right. Final question. This one's for me. What do you need to do better today in order to be better tomorrow, Sarah?
Tick off Google Calendar and the stress management list that you gave me.
Thank you very much. Yeah. All you got to do is just follow the structure. No, I like that one. Sweet. Right. So again, episode, what is it? 9, Sarah Catterson, Enterprise. No, it's not. It's 9.
You
Did I
said
say
8.
8? Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, it's episode 9. I've just looked at Podomatic over there. Terrible start. But yeah, like I said, enterprise, a lot going on. Someone who has all the business, but who isn't actually as invested into the financial side as what people think looking in on her. She does say that she's not an influencer. Disagree with that. She's very influencer-like, and she does definitely get very excited when all these new followers are coming in. So for all you followers out there, she loves you, she respects you. And everyone who is part of her team and part of her community are very, very lucky to have her. And the same will be for her partner soon when she chills the fuck out and starts having Saturdays off and Sundays off and spending time with him as well. So it's a pleasure, mate. You know how much I enjoy working with you and how much the team enjoy working with you, and I can't wait to keep pushing this to the next points up.
Thank you very, very much for having me on. And I'm an online coach, not an influencer. Thank you.
Yeah. See you later, guys.